Welcome to a journey beyond time as you know it. Imagine that you're living in one timeline, but all around you, an infinite number of timelines exist, each representing a different version of your life. Most people remain trapped in repetitive cycles, not because of fate or bad luck, but because they are locked into the vibrational frequency of their current reality. Today we're going to uncover how you can break free from these cycles by mastering the art of quantum shifting. This isn't about trying harder or simply wishing for change. It's about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, emotions, body, and nervous system, to the frequency of the reality you truly desire. Get ready to discover the science, the energy, and the inner transformation that will open the door to infinite possibilities. You're living in a single timeline right now, one expression of infinite possibilities. But around you, like invisible threads, other timelines are unfolding. Versions of you who made different choices, felt different emotions, aligned with different outcomes. These timelines are not fantasies or science fiction. They're potential realities encoded in the quantum field, waiting for your signal. Most people don't shift timelines not because they're cursed or unlucky, but because they remain emotionally and energetically aligned to the same vibration, the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same reactions. This consistency, while comforting, is what keeps them anchored to the same outcomes, repeating the same patterns. Life begins to feel like a loop, but it's not fate, it's frequency. Your current vibrational state is the key. It's like a radio station you're tuned into. You might want a different song, a better experience, a higher quality life, but unless you change the station, you'll keep hearing the same tune. It doesn't matter how much you hope or how frustrated you get. Until your inner frequency shifts, your outer world echoes the same. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about seeing clearly, becoming aware that you are not stuck, you are just in resonance. And resonance can be changed. When you begin to understand that your emotions, your thoughts, your bodily sensations are all broadcasting a frequency, you reclaim your creative power. So the first step is not action, it's awareness. Notice what you're vibrating. What emotional state are you living in? Is it resentment? Is it fear? Is it hope or peace or gratitude? Your vibration is not just a feeling. It's a tuning fork that calls forth a matching reality. You're not bound by one timeline. You're simply in harmony with it. You can shift. But first, you must feel the station you're currently tuned to, and then choose consciously, consistently, bravely, to dial into another one. So many people misunderstand what it takes to create change. They think it's about wanting more, trying harder, forcing outcomes. But the quantum field doesn't respond to pressure or desperation. It doesn't answer to effort. It responds to resonance, to frequency, to alignment. A quantum shift isn't something you muscle your way into. You can't fake it, hustle your way there, or say the right affirmations without actually feeling them. Because at the quantum level, it's not about what you say, it's about what you are, what you radiate, what you embody. To truly shift timelines, you have to bring your entire being into coherence. Your thoughts can't say, "I believe in abundance," while your emotions scream, "I'm still afraid." Your words can't declare, "I'm worthy," while your nervous system is frozen in a pattern of self-doubt. The quantum field reads your signal holistically. It reads your breath, your posture, the tension in your gut, the emotions simmering beneath your calm exterior. It reads whether you've actually metabolized your past, or if you're still looping through its echoes. So the shift isn't a mental game. It's a full-body alignment, a deep cellular knowing. Your thoughts must align with your feelings. Your nervous system must feel safe with the version of you that you're stepping into. Your body must recognize this new identity as familiar, not foreign. Think of the reality you want as a specific radio frequency. You don't get there by yelling at the radio or wanting it more. You get there by tuning in, slowly, sensitively, repeatedly, until your whole system clicks into place. So if the new reality feels far away, ask, what part of me isn't aligned yet? What fear is still holding on? What pattern is still running the show? Because the moment your thoughts, emotions, body, and nervous system agree on the reality you desire, the shift becomes inevitable. Not because you forced it, but because you finally matched it. Not because you forced it, but because you finally matched it. You can say all the right things. You can repeat affirmations daily, visualize your dream life, and even act the part. But if, beneath the surface, your body is tense with fear and your emotions are soaked in doubt, the quantum field isn't listening to your words. It's tuning in to your signal. And your dominant signal is not what you say the loudest. It's what you believe the most consistently. Imagine your life as a broadcast tower. Every moment you're sending out a vibrational frequency. That frequency is made up of your thoughts, yes, but also your emotional tone, your embodied state, and your nervous system patterns. Together, they create a signal that the universe responds to. Let's say your mind affirms, "I am abundant," but your chest tightens every time you look at your bank account. Your body contracts, your breath shortens, your emotions churn in anxiety. That is the signal being received. Not the words, not the affirmation, but the embodied emotion behind it. And this is why change often feels like such a struggle. It's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because your conscious efforts are being overridden by subconscious patterns that have been dominant for years, sometimes decades. So the question becomes, what is my dominant signal? Not just what do I want, not just what do I say, but what do I feel when I think about my future? What does my body do when I imagine success, expansion, love? Do I feel open or do I flinch? The quantum field is neutral. It's not judging you. It's simply responding to what you broadcast. And unless your internal world shifts, unless your emotions and nervous system begin to resonate with the new timeline, the old one will keep looping, not because it's meant to, but because it's what you're still tuned into. So instead of trying to shout over your fears, listen to them. Meet them, love them. Bring your unconscious to light. Because the moment you stop resisting what's inside you and begin to harmonize your inner world with the reality you desire, that's the moment everything begins to shift. Not because you screamed louder, but because you finally started sending a different signal. The idea that you need to create a new reality is one of the greatest illusions of our time. You're not here to fabricate outcomes from scratch. You're here to tune in, to align, and collapse into timelines that already exist. Every possible version of you already exists within the quantum field. There is a version of you that is confident, successful, loved, and deeply at peace. There's also a version of you stuck in fear, limitation, and lack. These aren't possibilities in the future. They're present realities, waiting for your frequency to match theirs. Think of the quantum field like a giant cosmic radio with infinite stations. Each station plays a version of your life. You don't invent the music, you just tune into the signal. The life you're experiencing now is simply the frequency you're currently attuned to. If you want to experience a different version of reality, you don't need to fight for it. You need to resonate with it. This is where Tesla's famous quote comes in. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. He famously emphasized the numbers 3, 6, and 9, not as numerology, but as keys to the structure of reality. These numbers hold energetic resonance in patterns that show up everywhere in nature, in mathematics, in consciousness itself. They point to the hidden architecture of the universe, one that is vibrational, not material. So what does that mean for you? It means the shift you're looking for isn't about changing your external life. It's about syncing with the vibrational code of the version of you who already lives the life you desire. You don't need to force success. You don't need to chase love. You don't need to struggle to create peace. You need to become vibrationally compatible with it. And when you do, when your thoughts, emotions, body, and energy begin to move in harmony with that version of you, you collapse into it. Instantly, not gradually, not someday, but now. Because quantum reality doesn't move through time. It responds to resonance. So no, you're not inventing a new you. You're accessing the you that's already real, already whole, already waiting. And all it takes is a shift in frequency. Every single day, a version of you shows up. The question is, which one? Is it the version of you that carries self-doubt? The one that repeats the old stories of unworthiness, fear, and limitation? Or is it the version that walks with presence, belief, and clarity of purpose? You see, every action you take, every reaction you have, and every emotion you feel, these are signals. They're indicators of which timeline you're reinforcing. It's not fate. It's not chance. It's not some mystical force outside of you. It's you. And the version of you that you allow to lead your day determines the path you walk. But here's the catch. Most of this happens without your awareness. You wake up, and the same mental loops kick in. You reach for your phone. You think the same thoughts. You emotionally rehearse yesterday's stress. You replay the same fears. And unknowingly, you step right back into the old timeline. Not because you want to, but because the version of you that belongs to that timeline is still in charge. If you want to change timelines, you must change the operator. This doesn't mean denying your pain or pretending to be someone you're not. It means recognizing the internal identity that's running the show and choosing, with intention, to shift. Change begins when you become aware of who is making your choices. Awareness is not passive. It's the first move in reclaiming your reality. Start small. And if the answer is no, pause. Breathe. Reset. You are not stuck because you lack strength. You are stuck because the outdated version of you has become familiar. Comforting, even in its discomfort. But comfort is not truth. Familiarity is not alignment. Letting go of the old version doesn't happen overnight. It happens moment by moment, choice by choice, breath by breath, and it begins with noticing. Who is living this day? Because when you choose the version of you who already lives the timeline you desire, that version starts choosing you back. It's easy to believe that if we just try harder, push more, or hustle longer, we'll finally break through. But the truth is, most people aren't stuck because they're lazy or unmotivated. They're stuck because their subconscious mind is addicted to the familiar, even if the familiar is painful, even if it keeps you small, even if it sabotages your joy. You see, the subconscious doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your vision boards or affirmations. It cares about one thing: safety through repetition. Familiar patterns equal safety. And because 95% of your behavior is driven by your subconscious, you could be doing all the right things on the surface, while underneath your subconscious is pulling you back to the old timeline over and over again. Every time you react with the same fear, the same doubt, the same emotional charge, you're reinforcing a neural loop. You're feeding the identity that belongs to your current timeline. And your body, it remembers. It memorizes emotions like guilt, anxiety, unworthiness. These emotions become chemical addictions, and the nervous system begins to crave them. This is why change feels so hard. Because it's not just about setting goals, it's about rewiring familiarity. And to do that, you must be willing to sit in the discomfort of the unknown. You must be willing to become unfamiliar, even to yourself. It starts with interrupting the loop. The next time you feel that emotional trigger, pause. The next time you want to react the same way, pause. Just that act of awareness is powerful. Yes, the old reactions will try to return, but each time you choose differently, each time you regulate your response, each time you refuse to let the old emotional signature run the show, you weaken the old timeline. You reclaim your power. And here's the beautiful thing. The unfamiliar doesn't stay unfamiliar forever. What once felt scary will one day feel natural. What once triggered resistance will eventually feel like home. But only if you're willing to leave the comfort of what you know and step into the space of who you can become. So remember, you're not stuck because you're broken. You're stuck because your subconscious is just doing its job. But now that you're aware, you can choose a new one. You can say all the right things. You can journal every night, visualize every morning, and chant your affirmations with conviction. But if your subconscious mind is still carrying the imprint of fear, unworthiness, or doubt, your reality will reflect that signal, not your conscious intent. It's not that manifestation doesn't work. It's that your dominant signal is not your loudest thought, but your most consistent frequency. And that frequency comes from the subconscious, the deep layers of belief you absorbed when you were a child, the emotional patterns you inherited, repeated and normalized, the identity you've unknowingly agreed to live within. When the subconscious and conscious are in conflict, guess who wins? The subconscious, every time. You may want abundance, but your subconscious believes you're not worthy of receiving. You may dream of love, but your nervous system equates intimacy with danger. You may crave freedom, but your inner child learned that safety only comes through control. So while you try to manifest with your mind, your body is broadcasting fear. And the quantum field, which is always responding to your entire state of being, simply echoes what you most consistently radiate. Because on the surface they have, but underneath the program is still running. The process of real manifestation, the kind that actually shifts your reality, isn't about wishing harder. It's about realigning deeper. It's about bringing the subconscious into coherence with your vision, not through force, but through repetition, regulation, and reprogramming. You have to feel safe with the version of you that has what you want. You have to make that version feel familiar to your nervous system. Not a fantasy, not an exception, but a natural expression of who you are. And that takes inner work. It means noticing when self-doubt sneaks in. It means catching your internal language when it contradicts your desires. It means giving yourself new experiences of safety, power, and enoughness, not just mentally, but somatically. When you do this work, something incredible happens. You stop chasing outcomes and start collapsing timelines. Because when your subconscious and conscious are in harmony, the signal you send is undeniable. And in the quantum field, that alignment is the key. It's what collapses the wave of infinite potential into the one timeline where everything already exists. When you feel stuck or hesitant to take a step toward your goals, it's easy to blame your mind. I'm just overthinking. Or, I'm waiting for the perfect time, you might say. But what feels like logic or hesitation is often something deeper. Resistance isn't just mental. It's wired into your nervous system. It's a biochemical reaction happening in your body every time you encounter the unfamiliar or the uncomfortable. You see, your nervous system is designed to protect you. It keeps you safe from threats, even if those threats are just perceived risks of change. So when you push toward a new timeline, your body can trigger stress responses, tension, anxiety, or a creeping sense of doubt. This emotional chemistry shows up as procrastination, second-guessing, or paralysis by analysis. You tell yourself you're being practical or careful, but underneath, your nervous system is resisting the shift. This is why simply telling yourself to think positive rarely breaks the cycle. Logic alone can't override deep-rooted survival mechanisms. To move beyond resistance, you need to feel your nervous system and work with it. That might mean slowing down instead of pushing harder. It could mean breathing deeply to regulate your emotions, or giving yourself permission to rest before acting. Change doesn't happen just by changing your mind. It happens by changing your state. And that means tuning into your body's signals, acknowledging the discomfort without fighting it, and gradually expanding your capacity to hold new possibilities without triggering defense. When you learn to work with your nervous system instead of against it, resistance loses its power. You stop confusing fear for logic. You stop confusing hesitation for rational thought. You start noticing that your body is guiding you, sometimes toward patience, sometimes toward action. This somatic awareness becomes your ally in shifting timelines, because when your emotional chemistry and nervous system support your intentions, your entire being moves with more ease and flow. And that shift in energy is what clears the path for a new reality to unfold. Think of yourself as a powerful radio transmitter. continuously sending out a unique signal. This signal isn't just your thoughts or words, it's the sum of your entire vibrational pattern. It's how you feel, the energy you carry, the way your body moves, the rhythm of your breath, and even the subtle currents beneath your conscious awareness. The reality around you is like a vast receiver, picking up on your frequency and tuning into the world that matches it. When your internal vibration is aligned with a certain version of your life, the universe responds by reflecting that version back to you. This means that shifting timelines isn't about trying to control or manipulate external circumstances. You can't force reality to change by sheer willpower or by battling against what's already there. Instead, the real magic happens when you change your frequency. How do you change your frequency? It starts with awareness, being mindful of how you feel from moment to moment. Are you vibrating in a state of fear, doubt, or scarcity? Or are you resonating with feelings of joy, confidence, and abundance? Your frequency is like a magnet, drawing experiences, people, and opportunities that match your energetic state. When you consciously raise your vibration, through practices like gratitude, meditation, or engaging in what lights you up, you begin to attract realities that reflect that higher frequency. It's important to realize that this isn't about pretending to be positive or ignoring your true feelings. It's about gently shifting your energy, healing old wounds, and nurturing a state where your desired reality feels natural and believable to you. This frequency-based approach also explains why two people with similar goals can have vastly different experiences. One might feel stuck, while the other flows effortlessly. The difference lies not in what they want, but in how they vibrate. So, remember, your power lies not in controlling the outside world, but in mastering your internal world. You are a frequency generator, and your reality is the mirror of your vibrational tune. Shift your frequency first, and watch how your external world begins to realign accordingly. When we talk about shifting timelines, it's easy to imagine trying to push or force things to happen differently, hustling, grinding, or just hoping for a miracle. But the true shift isn't about external effort. It's an inner transformation that happens when you fully align with the version of yourself who is already living the life you desire. This alignment goes deeper than wishful thinking. It means embodying that version of you in every way. Your mindset, your emotional state, your habits, your physical presence, and even your energy. Imagine stepping into the shoes of that future self so completely that your whole being vibrates on the same frequency as that reality. How do you do this? Start by becoming aware of how that future you thinks and feels. What beliefs do they hold? How do they handle challenges? What kind of energy do they radiate? Then begin practicing those qualities in your present moment. Act as if, feel as if, and think as if you are already there. This isn't about pretending or living in denial. It's about cultivating an authentic internal state that matches your desired reality. As you do this, the old timeline, the one that no longer serves you, naturally begins to lose its grip. It can't coexist with the new vibration you're now holding. This is where patience and self-compassion come in. Full alignment doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent attention to your inner world and gently releasing attachments to old identities and stories. Remember, timelines aren't linear. You aren't creating something brand new. You're collapsing into a possibility that already exists, the version of you who lives that fulfilled, abundant, joyful life. When you embody this fully, your reality will respond. Doors open, synchronicities occur, and the new timeline becomes your lived experience. So don't fight change. Instead, become the change. Be the version of you who already walks the path you desire. When you do this, the shift is no longer a struggle. It's a natural unfolding. The old timeline fades away because your vibration no longer resonates with it. You've moved into a new reality and it feels like home. Now that you understand how reality responds to your dominant vibrational signal, it's clear that shifting timelines is less about creating something new and more about collapsing into a version of yourself that already exists within the quantum field. Remember, change begins with awareness, knowing which version of you is currently running your life, and requires letting go of the old patterns held by your subconscious. By fully aligning your mind, body, and emotions to the frequency of your desired reality, you embody the change so completely that the old timeline loses its hold. Your power lies in becoming the frequency generator of your own destiny. If you're ready to step into your new reality, start today by tuning your vibration and watch the infinite timelines unfold before you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future insights into the quantum realm and personal transformation.